Hey, how's it going? Okay, first off, this video is just for entertainment. Don't try this at home. If you do this and you break anything, well, I'm not responsible. So this is the old rocker. This is my number 2 exhaust rocker, and I'm going to be putting in the Tooley Trunnion kit. This Trunnion kit is a version 2. What the version 2 means, get this out over here, is these are upgraded. Actually has a bearing surface for the needle bearings to go onto instead of the version 1, which had a different type of steel. So far I've done 3 of them, and it's been pretty straightforward. Just read the instructions carefully is what I had to do. So I'm using a 7/8 12 point and a 13 millimeter, which is what they recommend. And the instructions, they say the flat side goes down, these little ears here, those go down, center it over that, and then take the 13 millimeter and center it over that one. And to bring the press down, I've just been setting it on there, making sure everything's nice and lined up in the middle, and then you press it out. First time I did that, I was a little worried because it seemed to take a lot of pressure, but that's what it takes. Oh, this one really fell apart. So what you end up with is the core, which we will be using. This one just fell apart. This is the first time this has happened. This one's still good. This one just came apart. So anyway, I've just been putting these to the side. Just get them out of the way. Get the bolt out of the way. That's pretty much garbage. There goes one. Okay, so the next thing they tell you to do is to get one of their cage bearings. And on these, there is a plain side, and there is a side with writing. See the writing on there? That always faces out. So I like to use these. These are the assembly washers that come in the kit. There's a rounded side and a flat side. Probably doesn't matter. I like using the flat side. And just so I don't mar, because this is kind of rough cut. This is just a eBay special 1-ton arbor press. So what we do is we take this, and we drop it in this side. And once again, I'm going to take the flat side of this and put it right on top instead of pressing it with the arbor, because that's kind of rough cut too. You know, this is just a Chinese press. It's all you need to do this. And just bring that down right on top of that. Get that good and centered and press it in. And when it bottoms out, that's it. Should be nice and flat across there. Verify the writing is on the outside. Take one of those, drop it in there. This is where the press has to be set up a little bit different. You need to use these notches. I don't know how important that is because I've been using these. The reason they're wanting to use the notch is because now that's sticking past, and well, they don't want you bothering that. But if you use the washer, yeah, you can tell it. There's still a chance it sticks out. So I just put it there, right over the hole. Just gives that stub someplace to go. And you're going to take another bearing. Once again, okay, this side has the writing. The writing always goes out. Drop that on there like so. Once again, I'm using the flat side. Goes right on top there. You just want to make sure the bearing is square. Oops. Make sure that bearing is square on that bore. It's even all the way around before you press it. If it's off a little bit and it straightens up when you put the press on it, that's usually normal. See, like that, I'm looking all the way around and it looks like the same height. I can see the stub sticking out on the bottom. So we're gonna go ahead and press this till it bottoms. And that's it. Not a ton of pressure. So now we got both bearings in. There's a little bit of play side to side, which there should be. Spins freely. Now the last steps. These are the washers they give you, one on each side. And the snap rings. Once again, my OCD. The rounded edges where they stamp the steel, the flat, I always put the flat side toward the flat side of the snap rings. It's just me. I like to have flat to flat when it comes to snap rings. Gives a better engagement, in my opinion. I know these aren't the greatest pliers, but they work. You're just going to stretch that until it gets in there. And I'm going to rotate that to make sure that is in that groove all the way around, and it is. Same with this washer here. Put that like that. That looks like the flatter side. Flat side to flat side is what I like to do. And verify that that snap ring is in the groove, which it is. And that is completed. Now, on the actual center portion, you see that's rounded, that's flat. They give you new bolts. The bolt goes on the flat side, of course, so the head has some place to sit. And then I take this, put it back into my bag, number 2 exhaust. Of course, it's going to go onto the exact same valve it came off of. Set that aside, and then go on to the next one. I'm going to clean my area here. So there's been some discussion about whether the grease in these should be cleaned out or not. That was not in the instructions. So people are saying that it should be cleaned out because it doesn't allow oil to penetrate the bearing when it's in normal operation. The grease kind of locks the oil out. I don't know how true that is. I'm going to do a little more research. If I find that they should have been cleaned out, then obviously I'm going to have to soak them in solvent and move them around and then blow dry them and oil them and do a whole bunch of stuff. But for right now, they're going to be installed the way they are. I might go ahead and submerge them in oil and run them to make sure I can get any oil in there, of course. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and come back for more. I'm going to have more videos coming up, and have a great day.